What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another video on the fallout from Boruto chapter 72, and today we need to discuss the big elephant in the room, or rather the big snake boy in the room, which is Mitsuki and what role he might have in the upcoming battle. So far, we've seen the seeds being planted for Mitsuki versus Kawaki, but we've also got the immediate threat of Code and his 10-tailed soldiers, and I wanted to look at something that one of my patrons suggested that I talk about, which is the possibility that Mitsuki's body has one final trump card that we haven't seen on display yet, and why we haven't actually seen Sage Transformation Mitsuki be drawn by Ikemoto in the manga right now. So I can see the logic behind this one and why this is a suggested topic. Is one that we need to have, especially the latter question that was suggested. Ever since we got Kishimoto's one-shot manga chapter, which went over Mitsuki's origins, which was also included in Boruto volume number 1, fans have been fascinated with the character because Mitsuki showing Sage Transformation powers was a really big deal, especially at such a young age. However, while we've seen it in the anime, we've yet to see it in the manga, or rather in Boruto's manga, outside of the one-shot manga chapter I referenced that was included in Boruto Volume 1. Years ago, we thought we might see Mitsuki use Sage Transformation over 30 chapters ago during the Boro fight when Team 7 got knocked out because of how high the stakes were. That made a lot of sense. If a threat was large enough that Mitsuki had to use that power to protect his comrades, and in the anime, we did see him actually take those steps. It just wasn't against Boro, but rather it was against Deepa, a weaker card. And remember, the fact that he used it twice against Deepa, that's something that's giving fans a lot of hope that we might see this in the manga since Orochimaru made all those upgrades to his body. However, that being said, we haven't seen it in the manga, and people are rightfully saying this is the battle that's being set up with the 10-tailed soldiers against Team 7. This is a battle where there's no excuses and that Mitsuki should be forced to use Sage Transformation, and normally I would agree with that. However, I don't think we're gonna see it just yet, and the reason being is I don't think the current Boruto mangaka Mikio Ikemoto is going to actually draw Mitsuki in his Sage Transformation appearance. Ikemoto is a great artist. He's detailed in certain areas like the hair and the clothing, where the anime purposely has to take out some of the detail in its designs so as to make it easier on the animators over at Studio Hero and the sub studios that they outsource to. In the few episodes you did see them take Ikemoto's designs beat for beat, like Boruto episode 189 and episode 192 and episode 217, they stood out for all the right reasons. Granted, those episodes got a lot of pre-production. They're special episodes for a reason, but those are the episodes where you really saw Ikemoto's art style on full display here, though 217 was more of a mix. However, that form with Mitsuki is as problematic as time skip Boruto's design and as problematic as the original Naruto series creator Masashi Kishimoto's original designs for Sasuke, where Sasuke had a bunch of straps and necklaces and piercings. I think due to how detailed Kishimoto's design was in that one shot with the ethereal snake auras and the cracks on the skin and around the eyes and the horn pattern, that Ikemoto, while talented but not as talented as Kishimoto, might opt off on actually using this power for as long as possible due to the detail that it's going to require. The fight currently does have the ingredients needed to acquire this power from Mitsuki. Even if the 10-tailed soldiers on a sliding scale, they each need to be as strong or strong enough to pressure Karma Seal Boruto, which Code is going to assume Boruto is going to use, which neither Sarada and Mitsuki are even close to that level. Base to base against base Boruto, sure, we have more than enough evidence to say that, but not the Karma Seal, which is an enormous amp, let alone the true essence version of Karma Boruto, where he's fully utilizing all Momoshiki's power effectively. However, to play devil's advocate here, like we often do here over on the channel, could there be a scenario where Mitsuki has to use Sage Transformation in this fight and potentially show an upgrade in it? Sure, I definitely think so. We know based off of the past statements from Kodachi and Ikemoto that the anime and manga do have a parallel connection, that the anime tells the full story that the manga simply cannot due to the monthly format, and in the manga, the only time we saw this power being used was when Kishimoto drew that bonus chapter as promotion for Boruto's manga, whereas in the anime, we've only seen Mitsuki slowly use this power more and more as the series began to progress. Given Mitsuki's strong desire to protect Boruto, if these 10-tail soldiers do end up being a problem and there's simply too many of them to fight, Mitsuki busting out this power to save Boruto or offer assistance, that isn't crazy. He has some benefits to using it, and just based off what we saw in the Deepa rematch where he pumped out a large amount of that Sage Transformation chakra to help Boruto's compression Rasengan defeat Deepa, and this time his body didn't fall apart. There's a strong argument that can be made that whatever Orochimaru did to Mitsuki's body was enough that he can use Sage Transformation for longer periods of time without any side effects. This could be a great character moment to show Mitsuki that the gap in power needed to not be a weighted ball and chain around Boruto, only dragging Boruto down instead of supporting him like he wants. This could be a great moment for Mitsuki to realize what he is to Boruto. We need one final push to make Mitsuki a stronger and more relevant character. That's not to say he has to be as strong as True Essence Boruto, but only strong enough to help fight off threats that exist. We've seen what time skips can do in this series, where people like Sakura go from being barely as strong as a Genin to being stronger than some of the Jonin in the different villages, and being skilled enough that Chiyo admitted that she was underestimating her in the Sasori fight and that Sakura didn't need her help to stay alive against Sasori. Mitsuki getting a glow up like this, it's something that we can actually work with narratively. We don't need our boy Mitsuki standing around being useless and have Boruto just looking around at the other members of Team 7 absolutely flabbergasted.
Help me, nigga! Help me!
If we make the assumption that Mitsuki's body's been altered enough to use Sage Transformation for extended periods of time, potentially even upgraded, that opens the door for Mitsuki to have what would count as a hidden power, being worthy enough for Urashiki to have said in the anime, hey, I'm taking one look at this and this is too much of a problem to allow to go unchecked. Since then, we've never seen Mitsuki actually cash that in. This is something that definitely could be something that works and benefits the story to pay that off. Those chakra snakes should be able to grab his opponents, lock them down with their jaws, and he should be able to combine stuff like poison with them since he's Orochimaru's son. Against something like a 10-tailed soldier, you're going to need every advantage you can get if these are indeed equally split in terms of power and not on a sliding scale like the power of the ones that we saw used during the war, which varied in power, which allowed people like Kiba to land very strong attacks against them.
I beg your pardon?
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Mitsuki needs to use this power to the point of almost destroying his organs, to the point of no return, so he can see how much stronger he needs to get, because he approached his limit and couldn't go any further without damaging himself, and he needs to see Boruto and Kawaki's True Essence powers on full display so that he can come out of this time skip as a realistic option in battle that can at least hold its own. The fact we haven't seen Sage Transformation in the manga outside of Kishimoto's one-shot is absolutely criminal, because it's an amazing design and power, and if it isn't used as some type of hidden power-up trump card for the character, especially in a situation like this, that's going to be a huge disappointment in my opinion. If we don't see him with the serious effort, but instead he's just standing around watching Boruto, that's going to be a letdown, because between Kishimoto's original vision for Mitsuki in the one-shot and how the anime started his character off and how the anime's grown his character, we've seen Mitsuki shine everywhere except for Ikemoto's version of the manga, outside of the Boro fight where he came up with the antibodies, which allowed Sarada to come up with the counter strategy that she was able to form after she broke down how Boro's virus works, which is a reminder the anime actually changed her role and gave it to Mitsuki, which in turn had a lot of Sarada fans very rightfully in their feelings, but still in their feelings nonetheless. But I digress. We need to see Mitsuki using this power in the manga at some point. Hopefully Ikemoto and his small staff, which is smaller than a weekly mangaka staff, but he has assistants. Hopefully they come through for us and we're able to see it. It's long overdue. That being said, do you guys think we'll ever see Sage Transformation in Ikemoto's version of the story, or do you agree that this might be a hidden power type of situation that comes out towards the end of the franchise due to how complex the design was for Ikemoto and his staff to actually draw it out? While you think that over, consider watching these other videos you see on the screen right now.